Hello everybody, welcome back to Language Litigation Integration Part 158, Casual Conversation 76. You know what it is. I am your host, Bradley Bose. I am being profoundly and extensively tortured. There's nothing I can do, there is nowhere I can go, and there's no one I can call. I'm going to be tortured until the day that I die. But I put on my smiley face, I wake up. After not sleeping very well, I say, is there any way for me to socialize or integrate into society at all? Absolutely fucking no. And then I get to tomorrow with some disrespect, harassment, intimidation, criminal activity, theft, fraud, racketeering being committed against me. So it's super fun. Getting here in America where the only freedom you have is to neglect your family members and be so profoundly insecure that you can't grow up and change. So, we're doing this one. We have current events and talking points, relevant and random stories, and why hasn't someone shot me yet? Seriously, if you guys can start fucking wars, destroy my entire fucking life, have the fucking balls to put me the fuck down. Because all I do is mathematics. Again, I just watch Sugar Sean O'Malley and that other fucking worthless fucking redhead dude go to Mexico to get stem cells. What a great piece of fucking shit you pieces of garbage are. What value do you provide to society? You punch each other? Cool beans. They're so tough, you punch each other. I need fucking healthcare so I can fucking teach people. You guys are just fucking monkeys that punch each other. But hey, again, you have to provide value to society. Is mathematics ever valuable to society? No. Is economics ever valuable to society? No. Is law ever valuable to society? No. Is decency ever valuable to society? No. Is public speaking ever valuable to society? No. It's just selfish people around each other that tolerate each other and share their insecurities. So that's always good, and as always, we have another person to sue or to at least call out and profoundly get them out of society. So again, this is what I did wrong this time. I bought a car. That is the entirety of my liabilities. I bought a vehicle. And gave you a quick tour of my truck, thoroughly and enjoying it, except for the alarm system. So about 3-4 days ago, my alarm just starts buzzing. I'm just walking through my living room area, and I'm like, why is there a car alarm so close going off? And it shouldn't be mine. Sure enough, it's mine. So I go out there, my car alarm's buzzing, no idea what the fuck's going on. Turn it off. About 20 minutes later, it does the same thing. Turn it off, and then about 6 hours later, it does the same thing. So 3 times in one day. I've had the truck for, 3 weeks to a month. It's the first time it's done that. It's the only time it's done that. But again, no visible modifications to anything. The first time it said the hood was open, but I definitely closed the hood, and then it buzzed 2 more times. And again, after my house alarm has gone off and I've been harassed by wonderful Officer Deputy Robbins that wants a lot of respect without identifying himself and charging at me on my property, jiggling his weapon. So again, now I have a car outside that just randomly beeps. And that has gone so well for me with the police officers at this fucking house that I just fucking bought. And again, I bought a house, they give me the codes, it beeps, now the cops hate me, now I just have a thing outside that beeps randomly. It will definitely cause police attention. So I just have this thing in the back of my mind, how the fuck, now I just have this other liability of social liability of, if I'm just somewhere and my car starts beeping off, Deputy Robbins is sure enough going to come harass me fucking again. And there's nothing I can goddamn do about it because I bought a fucking vehicle. And so I called my wonderful sales rep, Carl Brown, at, where is this fucking, Germain Nissan on Morris Road. Originally gave them a 5-star. I want to read you my response, or my review. Because at first, again, I had a good experience, left them a 5 out of 5 review. Yes, this is my review. I said, this is my post on Germain Nissan. Carl Brown works at Germain Nissan, and that's at Morris Road. Again, of course, you can't get the actual fucking thing, the address. But I just have, this was originally a 5 out of 5 review that was changed to a 1 out of 5 review after getting disrespected by Carl Brown. Original review. Bought a truck and had a good experience. No pushy sales and good customer service for minor repair issues. My sales rep was Carl, highly recommend. Then I changed it to, now I'm suing this company for false advertisement and discrimination. My truck's alarm system has been randomly going off. I called Carl, my sales rep, and he provided me no useful assistance, then said to me, who even are you? Simply for trying to ask how you turn off my alarm system without having to bring the truck in. Pure disrespect. Then they mocked me for being a lawyer and banned me from their store after selling me a faulty product. The lawsuit will be posted publicly on my YouTube channel and filed as soon as I have access to court.
would avoid these lovely salespeople at all costs. They might get offended by your profession and their incompetence. And so, again, time to review my interaction with Carl. So I go in there, and again, I can just, when there's an insecure 20 to 90-year-old, I can just sense they're going to be jealous, angry, they're going to be confused, they're going to be conflicted, they have no idea what's going on. And so when I first went in there, well, when I called Carl back up, I literally I'm just trying. I never escalate the conversations. People get offended that I'm asking them to do their jobs. That is what occurs. And they don't respect me. I'm a fucking nobody and fuck off. And so I called them, and I'm just literally trying again. He immediately said, well, you can bring it in. It's like, well, I Googled it. It seems to be a pretty common problem for Ford F-150s. He immediately says something like, well, we don't normally sell these vehicles. And I'm just trying to see if there's any tips and tricks. Like, hey man, you wipe down this sensor, maybe that will help. Maybe this will help. I don't want to bring it into a dealership just for this thing going off. Or maybe how to just permanently delete it or disable it. I'm not worried about someone breaking into my car. I leave no valuables in there. I have car insurance, so I don't want a random thing beeping when Deputy Robbins is right around the fucking corner. And I just want to know maybe if I can wipe down a sensor or just how to disable the alarm system at all. But we didn't get to that point in the conversation. Carl got fucking offended because I was just trying to ask him how to do something. And so he literally says to me, who even are you? Right? That's the projection of somebody realizing that I'm a somebody but a nobody, right? That's literally the reverse of, do you even know who I am? Who even are you? My name's Brad. I bought a vehicle. And then when I was in there, when I was telling him I was a physicist, and I told him about the bar and the restaurant and the alcohol company. Because again, every worthless fuck that's starting to make a little bit of money, maybe start a 401k, Carl didn't want me to buy in cash so I could keep the money liquid. My actual scenario is, I have a lot of fucking businesses that are fraudulently devalued. I live on poverty level income because of that fraudulent activity. I have a lot of other money that I made because I invested Bitcoins after selling drugs, weed. I can't touch that money at all. I get disrespected about money every time I deal with anybody. That's my actual real life. None of that is a joke. FBI, CIA, any of these people that says they can do basically whatever they fucking want to me in person recorded, I will pay you big, large sums of money for a time for me to stop getting tortured. Did you enable these scenarios? And again, I did not elevate the conversation. I've spoke in my normal speaking tone. I'm just trying to have tips and tricks. So this is now the second store. But then again, the instant he says, who even are you? I'm like, I'm just going to sue you. And again, not like, I'm an angry Karen yelling at your store. Again, just like Blue Medicinals. They just get offended. They project onto me. They disrespect me. And then I say I'm a lawyer. And he's like, well, who even are you? I thought you were a physicist. I thought you were this. I'm all of those things. I actually do 5 PhDs to 10 PhDs a fucking day in research. Literally, actually. I didn't sign up to live. I do mathematics fast and I breathe. The world can't change its behavior. Brad gets tortured every time I interact with anybody. Anybody. And so then he hands me over to Gary Haskins, who was their finance manager. This guy was a hoot. So after I buy the car from Carl, this is on my original visit, buy the car from Carl, no real problems, go in to meet this wonderful dude named Gary Haskins. Again, ask me what I do. The minute you say the words I own in reference to businesses, someone that works at businesses starts jerking off. Yeah, Gary Haskins, I own a bar and restaurant that asked me for $5,000 last month after taking on more money and paying them back first. So yeah, my bar and restaurant doesn't do fucking dick for me. But it's just, again, I just avoid the question, what do you do? Because I can't answer it literally. I literally do so much scientific research, it sounds goofy and improbable to people, so I just say I own this small restaurant over here. But Gary Haskins gets not offended, but again, trying to be one of the boys. He wants to own stuff too. He literally started telling me, he's like, you know how many years I had to work here? And again, we're a brotherhood, camaraderie type of way. I own some businesses, again, they're doing dick for me, and I'm just trying to avoid this weird conversation that's about to occur. And he's like, you do, again, in a brotherly, we're in this together type of way. He's like, yeah, man, it took you a while to be an entrepreneur. It took me a while to get in this seat here. I'm just looking around the room. It's Jermaine Nissan on Morris Road. It's a finance manager. Your desk is pretty fucked up. The walls are all, the paint is chipping. That chair over there for real, bro? Really, that's a big accomplishment? And again, it's not to disrespect someone's profession. It's just representative of their maturity level. And I always have to deal with these people that are biologically older than me, mentally fucking children. And so then he's like, what else did the fucking guy say? He said other just dumb shit, just most beta male fucking stuff ever. I know he was really happy about driving a Bronco. But the fact of the matter is the minute I say, he's like, the minute you say sue me, this goes somewhere else and you can't come into the store. Then I called them, they hung up, then I call them back and somebody else picks up and they're like, stop calling us. If you're a real fucking lawyer, you're gonna know what to do. And again, a real lawyer is not on part 158 of a legal lecture series, proving the definitions and foundations of all of human knowledge. I am. And so that's who I am, Carl. I'm just Brad buying a truck, but if you disrespect me, again, when I called them back to ask for a legal email address. Because 95% of lawsuits don't go to fucking court. All of my lawsuits go to fucking court. But again, I can't literally practice as a lawyer, and the reason I'm not a barred lawyer today is because of fraudulent activity, and I have a signed lawsuit from Michael DeWine saying, well, this is just nothing, we're just going to steal all of your property. And so when I asked them for a legal disc, and then they banned me from the store, it's like I bought this insurance thing, or like this warranty package where it's like if something happens, I go to that store and they give me a free vehicle, so I hope that's honorable somewhere, or else you're denying me service, and that's also a charge. But telling a lawyer they can't enter the store for saying they're going to sue you. And again, not in an aggressive, not in a mean, not in an arrogant, not in a threatening way. Just like, hey man, this is what I do all day, literally. If you don't want to be disrespectful and be so fucking arrogant and escalate it, sure as fuck, I don't give a fuck. Because then again, it's like you have to assess your damages. And they're thinking, what's this guy going to sue us for? $10, wasted 10 minutes of his time? Nope, harassment and mental damages for 2-3 fucking weeks. These things, these interactions sit in my brain for a minimum, a small to medium disrespect, 2 weeks to a month, large disrespect my entire fucking life. And they just keep happening. Again, I've made a lecture series of other stuff happening. I have new evidence and new interactions every 3 days. I'm 29. This has been happening my entire life. This is torture. I say I'm being profoundly and extensively tortured. I'm not kidding. So Carl Brown and Gary Haskins, I'm suing you for, again, false advertisement, discrimination. Again, as a lawyer, I don't know how to serve you papers without, again, I can mail it to you, but I'm just going to post it on here and wherever it said. Gary Haskins and Carl Brown, as well as the owner of the Germain Nissan on Morris Road. Let's just get that Germain Nissan address, just so we get the right one. Oh yeah, it's 4300 Morris Road, Columbus, Ohio, 43230. So Germain Nissan, you should fire those pieces of fucking shit. They're being sued for me personally, and you're being sued for emotional damages. And I can't sue you or anything. Well, you're on the naughty list for Brad's history lessons. So thank you for Germain Nissan. Painting didn't work again. We just got to start off the episode with stuff that never works, because nothing works ever. So again, I told you I saw a little paint chip. Again, it's 100% the same color in the whole house. I saw a little white off coloring on a little paint chip. I took in there, cut it out, took it back in there. It was clearly a different color. Looked the right shade when I put it on there. And then I can still see like the finish is off. And so when I go into Lowe's, it's like, do you want the eggshell finish, or the satin finish, or the glossy finish? I'm like, here's some paint, bro. I hope it's the right color. And so that didn't work again. It's closer, and it's close enough for me again. I'm just so fucking tired of this shit. Got my power washers coming tomorrow. They got rescheduled because of the weather. And I tried to schedule them on like the last abnormally warm day of November, but it started raining all day. So it's got to do it in like 40-degree weather. So guess that's what I'm paying them for, and I'm not getting on a fucking ladder. No siree. But I just got back from getting my flu shot as well, so that's good. I didn't even know, just as a consumer of the COVID vaccine, I didn't even know I was eligible for another one, so I'll get that one as well. Yep, Ben Shapiro and all that, I'm getting super triple boosted because biologically, I'm still the biologist and it still works. Stupid fucks. Again, hopefully can avoid me having a slight down day for 2 to 3 days. That is my big goal for any of these vaccines. But again, we've covered the biology, I'm not talking about that stuff again. But I did get my flu shot today. That was the talking point. So that was the story to start with. Yeah, Germain Nissan, lovely people. And again, it's just every time, I can sense it. It's literally a thought that pops in my head. It's like, if I have to, this is a person's maturity level that is going to scapegoat me 100% of the time if they get offended. And it's just on the initial interactions of, again, and another thing, I asked Carl Brown, because one of his colleagues, I told Carl I was a physicist, and he my colleague is a physicist, son's a physicist. And so that employee of Germain Nissan, your son, after Carl, we talk about the car, is his colleague comes over, and the colleague's again probably about my dad's age, mid-60s, and he's like, I heard you're a physicist, and I'm like, yep, like literally it's our conversation. Heard you're a physicist, yep. Well, my son did physics and chemical super electrical engineering physics, and I'm like, that's cool. And he's like, he went to CERN. I don't know if he went to CERN. He went to Switzerland, and he went to Europe. Now he's back in the States. Yep, it is what it is. Ask your son if he's heard that in any sort of professional context, or from rhythm to algorithm, or language and litigation and integration series at any professional context. So I asked his Carl for that guy's information because his son stole intellectual property from me and plagiarized from me, and he refused to give me that information. So I refused a direct court order. Again, I'm a merit judge. The reason I'm not a barred lawyer and I'm an elected judge is because of fraudulent activity. I would literally, by merit, be on the Supreme Court if I was properly functioning in American society. But again, I'm more influential as the guy that gets his entire lecture series stolen every fucking day. But, so, his colleague 100% stole my intellectual property and did not cite me properly on any research he has ever fucking done. And he gets to travel and have fun and have a job and interact with people, while at the same time I am socially isolated to the point where I don't generate an appetite naturally. I am still on a predominantly liquid diet, and I have no understanding of how to get the fuck out of here. All I need is my 1 time frame. That's all I've ever needed. And an interesting thing about being tortured, actually, it's such a mental headspace that, again, I haven't had any sort of physical sickness at all in, 2, 3, 4, 5 years, probably 4 years since I've been getting the flu shot regularly. But when I actually get physically sick, I can eat fine, believe it or not. If I'm not vomiting, but if I have something like a cold or a slight under the weather with the flu, the mental stress actually goes away, which is amazingly fucking tortured, right? I just said if I get physically sick, my body's in a physical state where I have to stop being anxious. I'm not an anxious person. I am being tortured. People are projecting their insecurities onto my life and judging me as if they're true, and they're not. And it's everybody I've ever dealt with, fucking ever. And so if I actually get physically sick, my appetite comes back. But again, it's I'm going to go get intentionally sick so I can eat? Why the fuck can't somebody treat me like a human being with dignity and let me socialize and not have an appetite today, right now? Hey, Brad, you might be able to give a lecture in 3 years. I would be able to eat today. But people like to watch me fucking suffer, and absolutely nobody gives a single fuck about my life. People aren't mature enough to love me. Love is a set of actions. Nobody loves me. I don't care. I don't fucking care. I want to feel safe enough to eat. That has been my only goal since I've been kicked out of society entirely. So, more successful stuff today. Yeah. All right. Moving on to regular talking points. Oh, well, I guess one other thing I actually got a chuckle from was I'm over here, so I just, got the flu vaccine. I was like, how do you get your vaccine chart? Because it's always I'm over here as a 29-year-old virgin. Am I vaccinated against HPV? Should I get that? I've done no wiener playtime stuff. I just don't know, what I was vaccinated as a child. So I can't imagine being, in the 12 to 14-year-old range, getting normal vaccinations, not having HPV in there. I just don't know on the timing. So I was just curious, data records, medical records, how do I get that? And they said just call your pediatrician. Remember I told you about getting kicked out of my pediatrician, again, years ago, because she's citing bunked weed cannabis studies. And so it's just God, fuck, I am so out of society. But just in general, medical records should be easily accessible in one place. But just another couple thoughts on vaccines. And they said, a tetanus shots, and it's once every 10 years. I just don't think I've been vaccinated for anything major besides COVID in the past 10 years. But when we start talking about childhood vaccinations, I just have no fucking idea. So I'm probably gonna look into that. But Sam Bankman-Fried, FTX founder, loses 94% of his net worth in weeks. His net worth is currently below $1 billion. Bitcoin is now below 17,000, and Ethereum is close to 1,000. And Sam Bankman-Fried's commercial, couple of economics points, not much. But dude sounded like an absolute fucking fruit cup. one of your edgelord Steve Jobs coming up with a voice of an absolute fucking pussy. So it looks like an absolute fucking fat fuck. But I just don't get how you do this. First of all, I don't get how you can trade for US dollar. I don't see how you have some sort of appreciation. Don't take some off the table for anything. Second of all, again, I don't know what FTX is in general. Again, I'm bullish on Bitcoin, bullish on Ethereum. Nothing has changed on my outlooks for that at all, except for, again, now it's clearly correlated to standard markets, not giving us clear time frames for appreciations and depreciations. I still don't see there's a real way for, we already live in a decentralized finance environment. We've already gone over that. But just to the FTX stuff, I don't even know what token that is. I don't know what is an exchange. I don't know what the fuck it is. But the dude, I watched this commercial about like, here's $100. How can we spend $100 to make it help the most people plant more trees? Type of fucking shit. It's like people just have no understanding of how much money's out there, and nobody has the intuition to. And I literally do logical analysis over the entirety of the human species, and people can't think over like 300 years of economy. They're just like, dollar go up. My 401k shows red today. Oh, stinkies. What do we do? But I don't understand as how you get leveraged like this. Like when they're talking about investors and shit, like losing money or being in debt. It's just like, as someone who, again, my parents just told me not to spend $10 on painting supplies. If you have a company at 40, 50, 60 billion dollars, like sell $5 billion left over just in case. And again, you can trade it for cash like instantly. So it's like. So I just, in general in business, I don't get it being leveraged like this, whether it's the banking industry being bailed out. Again, I would bail out functional services, but I just don't get how, as an entrepreneur, as a business owner, how you scale and expose yourself like that financially. That's just reckless. That should be reckless. That shit ain't no 10 toes down stuff. So, speaking of which, I applied for Medicare. Like, actually, I told you about the prank calls, or scam calls. Those have been going. I'm not kidding you. Let's go to yesterday. Let's go to November 11th. I had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 calls. The day before that I had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 calls. So I've been absolutely getting bombarded by these people. Sometimes it's an automated bitch, sometimes it's a real fucking person. I literally tell them I would kill them because you're harassing me at my fucking home. You're harassing me 15 times in a row. And I've been politely asking them, how the fuck do I get off of this thing? And then they just hang up. And then they call you back 5 minutes later. And so then I just fuck with them, I tell them I'll kill them, I defend my property and my life to a legal standard. But one guy was fucking hilarious. He sounded Indian, so I was gonna try to prank or just try to practice, try to bust out some Nepali. Maybe he's got some Hindi similarities in there. He's like, oh, I don't speak. He sounded native Indian for sure as fuck. But again, there's a lot of languages in India. But I was trying. If you're gonna be a scam caller and calling me, I'm just gonna try to practice some languages with you, bro. And then he gets like annoyed me trying to. Again, I think my Nepali was fine. Again, I was just these things happen 15 times a day, so I forget exactly what I was saying. But just Miro nam Brad ho in tapain ko nam ke ho. She's like, what's your name? My name's Brad. But then he gets like offended. He's like, I'm gonna shoot you in the head. And he's like, oh, don't shoot me, man. I was like, just go fuck yourself. He's like, fuck you, man. You're calling me from a scam center 15 times today. I would like you to stop. Fuck off. Ugh. But I did apply for Medicare on Medicare.gov. So let's see if I qualify. I'm so poor. Let's see if I can get healthcare to any standard. If it's not absolutely free, I'm not going to get it at all. So, but yeah, they just said it's Medicare Health Center. But all of these fucking numbers, the federal agents that can do basically whatever they want, find this call center and shut them all the fuck down, and then throw yourselves in jail with them, or on the ground. Whatever you guys want to do. You guys commit treason every day. Please stop committing treason. Change your behavior now. Oh God, fuck me. Brad's life will never live. Got some big stuff at the box office coming up. December 2nd, Violent Night. Actually, kind of like a raunchy Christmas movie with like Santa's stocking stuffers planting grenades and people's, just like an enforcer type of comedy holiday show. Kind of interesting. Might get out of the house to see that in theaters. I saw Avatar. They must have just done the played the first Avatar that came out like 10 years ago in theaters, because I thought the Avatar Way of the Water had already come out and it hasn't. So that's coming out on December 16th with a 3-hour and 10-minute runtime, which it's long for a movie, but it's not like absurdly long. I'd say most movies are getting hour and a half to 2 hours, 15 minutes. I mean, another 50%, but still, I've reviewed everything scene by scene before, so it's not like. But I'll probably see that in theaters. Spirited with Will Ferrell and Ryan Reynolds. I probably won't see that. That type of comedy doesn't really hit for me. Haven't been a huge fan of Ryan Reynolds and Will Ferrell. Okay, nothing personal, just more of the comedy genre. Just doesn't strike me as It's not the cinema I'm going for. Romantic comedies, sign me up. Just regular comedies, hopefully it's funny, but a lot of times it was just missed for me. And Black Panther, Wakanda Forever is in theaters now. Haven't really looked at the reviews at that. I like Black Panther, the first one. Again, superhero movies is another genre that doesn't really do much for me at all, so that's pretty... Again, I did like Thor Ragnarok. Did not see Thor Love and Thunder. Would probably check that out. But I thoroughly enjoyed Black Panther. I would see Black Panther, Wakanda Forever. So I might get out to the theaters soon. I'll definitely probably see Way of the Water. If I do see Way of the Water, it will certainly be in theaters. $8 a month for a blue check mark gets a lot of high quality accounts. One read, and I quote, "Breaking, a second Tesla has hit the World Trade Center." It was just on an account, Tesla, the real Tesla's at Tesla, and this one's Tesla Co. And they get the blue check mark. Again, I told you this was going to be a bad fucking idea. The thought from weird Elon with no values, with a little bit of money, and he's like the superhero famous guy, but he's still just a fucking idiot. And he's like, yeah, let's take away the status. Everyone should have the access to a blue check mark. It really distorts who's popular, who has a lot of people watching them, which is beneficial to a bunch of apes on a rock, as opposed to me. I think 17 followers. But I just use it to not even control people, literally to tell them to do their fucking job and to get talking points. But there's absolutely a value in $8 a month for a blue checkmark devalues the status symbol of just being popular. And people say, well, everyone matters. Yeah, but it's like people who are popular genuinely do something for society. Now, you could say a bunch of edgy comments that get popular, but if you state scientific facts, you just get tortured. But it's still like it devalues this, and then you get shit like this. And then you get the Eli Lilly one. Is that really resulting in the stock market crashing? I don't know. Maybe. But I thought this was a stupid idea. And once you see all these really high quality accounts coming out, I think you saw that as well. I think they just suspended it already. But Thanksgiving's coming up. Will I get invited? I don't know. Who knows? Wasn't invited last year. Last time, anytime I deal with my family, it's just, what do you do? I just deal with disrespect all day because nobody knows how to behave. If I do get invited, will I be able to eat around family? Probably not, because everyone's all angsty and uncomfortable and no one respects me as a professional, so then I don't have an appetite. And that's where I'm at today, always. Sweet. So yeah, the holidays are coming up. Love and cheer. Family time, love it. Cynthia Hill and Matt Herchek on NBC4. Again, I'd like to give these ones give out a personal shout out to our newscasters, our local newscasters who are always on our side, who report on the local stories. I can't eat dinner. I cannot eat dinner properly because I have to socialize to any extent. Again, an interview from an indie magazine, an appearance on a podcast with 5,000 subscribers, a text message, a call, a lecture, business operations, a paycheck, a friend, a girlfriend, fuck friends, a girlfriend, any sort of social group. So today we're shouting out Cynthia Hill and Matt Herchek at NBC4. Nick Cannon's baby number 12 is on the way, paying almost $3 million in alimony or child support. How much does Nick Cannon make? It's kind of a hefty price tag. He's up there with Elon Musk and Nick Cannon. They should be elected to a special committee in Congress for naming babies. They had a lot of good ones. I don't have any written down, but Nick Cannon's babies were really named well. I watched some Andrew Schultz Flagrant UFC party stream. It's literally what the video's called. It's about a 5-hour thing. And I just noticed something, right? Again, I went back and watched some other pieces. I enjoy the Flagrant cast. But the black guy that's on your cast, he was in the back. And I just fucking laughed. Turn it on there, and there's a bunch of it's just funny because how the set was set up. It's like they have like 3 couches. The couches are full because there's a bunch of UFC dudes, and the typical black dude who's on the show is literally sitting in the back in like this grotto of bricks, like in the window, like telling the conversation in the frame. So it's really just bad setup for the number of people. But I just thought it was fucking hilarious because it's a comedy podcast, and then I turn this shit on, and the black guy's in the back. So there's Rosa back there. The guy's name's Kevin. I'm like, hey Kevin, it's about that time. Head to the back. So I just thought that was fucking funny because I watch the podcast regularly. I just turned into the live stream randomly. I just burst out laughing because that was the setup. So that gave me a chuckle. But FIFA rejects human rights for all message on Denmark training kits. The tournament is in Qatar. Yeah, human rights. Again, behavior consolidates. At this point in time, we're not sure if we should have women matter over there. But everyone wants to make money. We all want to fucking make money. FIFA wants to make money. The Denmark soccer players want to make money. Qatar wants to make money. So we all have no values. But we all want to make money, so we have to tolerate each other. Or we can grow the fuck up. But nope, absolutely not. So I thought this was an interesting conversation. Andrew Schultz on Jordan Peterson. Again, we have our box of hamsters for our podcasters. They all just climb all over each other. They're all fucking each other. We got what the fuck is the guy's name? Lex Friedman and Andrew Huberman still 69ing on their Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Andrew Huberman is fucking retarded. I watched him with Jordan Peterson. A neuroscience meets psychology. It's the same shit, guys. It's called biology, and you guys just talk about stuff to make yourself sound special. I'm a neuroscientist. I'm a psychologist, and both of you open your fucking mouths and spewing out word salad. Every time Andy Huberman tweets, just like, retard. I watched an ex-Nobel laureate physicist chew nicotine gum 3 times a day, so I'm gonna chew nicotine gum 3 times a day. You guys watch me microdose LSD and mushrooms, and smoke weed, and drink beers, and solve all science fucking instantly, while being tortured, as the most prolific biologist ever. But yeah, go chew nicotine gum, microdose LSD or mushrooms. Yeah, it's a good idea. Don't overcome your fears. Bury yourself in your fear until you're dead, and as long as you make money, then bury yourself even more and sit comfortably in your privilege. Andy Huberman. Fucking loser. But the Andrew Schultz and Jordan Peterson conversation, Andrew Schultz had an interesting fact. He says, as a comedian, limits to abortion at a moral level. Meaning, like, even amongst the abortion crowd, he's like, 3 is okay, but 9 is too much. And so I thought that was an interesting psychological fact. It's just judgment. It's just, again, obviously, women's rights. We should be able to choose what to do with our bodies. I'm totally full of the death penalty, so you can abort me today. Please, why hasn't someone shot me yet? But kind of an interesting psychological fact. But again, it's just behavior consolidating. If everyone agrees that if it endangers the mother's life, that should be, able to be aborted today. Everyone else isn't sure because they're not biologists and they have no values and they just like life, pro-life, anti-life, freedom, I hate myself, I don't know how to behave. But, which is judgment. Do I think any limit to abortion? Again, I would agree with the judgment. I would say, again, it's just more reckless behavior. But again, I criticize all reckless behavior in all contexts every single fucking time. Instinctually, I can't process insecurity at all. So, I agree with the judgment, but I thought it was an interesting psychological fact. Jordan Peterson says, I don't like to talk to people who I have to walk on eggshells around. Jordan Peterson, that is everybody I interact with because you will not say my name in public one time. Just say my name. Say my name, when no one is around you. Say, Bradley, I love you. I already remixed that song, actually. Great chorus. It's a classic chorus. But, yeah, I have to walk on eggshells around everybody. And when I go to the paint store to get eggshell paint, it doesn't get the right finish, bro. I told you, watching paint dry is so lit as fuck. And then it comes out the wrong color, and I'm like, shit. Clay Davis. The Wire. Then they say, the views of yourself should reflect the views of the people around you, parentheses, about yourself. I was paraphrasing, that was the word for word what Jordan Peterson was thinking in his brain trying to say. I said LOL. The views of yourself should reflect the views of the people around you about yourself. Again, the about yourself was implied with my telepathy. But, yeah, my view of myself does reflect the views of the people around me. I'm a fucking worthless piece of fucking shit. I will never be anybody because I offend people, and then, yeah. It's just projection. They're all just projecting. They're just projecting. Everyone's aware of what I've done in the personal and in the general. Literally me personally, and then generally there's somebody in our species that can do this stuff. And then everybody else just wants to make money while I'm living at the poverty level, getting told not to spend $10 on paint. Yes. Yes, locked in, baby. And then Andy Schultz says, explosions of creativity around people who support you. Correct, Andrew Schultz. And when I say you personally, Andrew Schultz, are slowing down the progress of the human species, you, Andrew Schultz, won't allow me on your podcast because you're a pussy and you're a criminal. And so you restrict, you suppress that explosion of creativity in me. The most creative person that's ever walked on this fucking planet. And so you, Andrew Schultz, are a bad person in fucking history. But yeah, this is what I mean when I say I can't experience happiness. I can't experience safety. And then you get people saying explosions of creativity around people who support you. Nobody has ever supported me. People have slowed down science profoundly and extensively for 20 fucking years for not allowing me to have access to education. For real. I sit and rot in other people's insecurities for real. I can honestly and genuinely say the only thing I've ever done in my life is deal with other people's insecurities. Jordan Peterson then still instinctually defending he says, if you go to university and get a real education. Yeah, I went to a real university and they stole a real education, as they're doing today. So your real education literally instinctually suppressed the most important scientific discovery ever, then they stole it all, and now you guys still have some integrity, like higher education's a fucking thing. You guys are liars and fucking thieves. For real. And then the last thing I got, I only watched, I don't know, about 50 minutes, but Yeonmi Park, the North Korean chick gets demonetized for talking about history, question mark? The fuck? Again, I haven't watched much of her stuff, just a couple things on Lex Friedman, but again, I have been dehumanized for speaking historical facts, for first of all discovering them, then protecting them. Again, I had to carry this shit for 20 fucking years while you guys literally just play games and can't come all day. That's literally what the fuck you do. And so it's just disgusting. Human beings cannot accept facts. They literally fucking can't. They just fucking can't. So you guys continue to project and steal from me. I'm gonna make sure I'm still rolling a couple more talking points. But you just can't offend people. They'll call it hate speech. They project that they hate you. They project that onto you, and they say you're doing hate speech. It's doublespeak, literally. Again, like, my life has never started. I would say my life is over, but my life literally never fucking began. God, fuck. I've never expressed myself to a single person at any point in time. I've endured torture since I've been a tender-age child. But guess what privilege is? Oh, Mr. Beast drops a new video, and I thought, Jimmy Donaldson, fuck you, man. God, just fuck you. Not because I'm jealous, because fuck you. You're a criminal thief. I'm trying to be a YouTuber. This is my 561st YouTube video. But again, I'm Brad Boas, so I'm allowed to be tortured. I'm supposed to be tortured. Because we don't have to accept historical facts about UFOs, aliens, healthcare, history, anything. We just can't change. And as long as we can make money, go home and fuck our fat wives, then well, we don't want to disturb the peace. Just good enough. It's just good enough for me. But Mr. Beast made a video. Last person, again, absolutely no creativity, absolutely no fucking innovation from that guy. But $2.5 million jet for YouTubers, which my first thought was, again, I don't think someone with 2 to 20 million YouTube subs would have enough income. Again, I think I Googled it before, like, I'm getting called right now. Well, I did have the pharmacist, this was like a spam number, but I literally had just turned off my ringtone right then, and now I'm getting called. But I did ask the pharmacist, because of the tetanus shot, I just want to know what the out-of-pocket cost is, because I don't have health care. And again, I don't have access to health care. I don't have health care. And as again, that's the most creative, productive person in the species that has ever lived. But for the YouTube video, or for the Mr. Beats YouTube video, it's like YouTubers with $2 to $20 million. My first reaction was they wouldn't have enough money for like maintenance costs, or at least wouldn't want to. And if I'm making $1 million a year, and I have a jet that costs $300K a year, and it's like I'm gonna be selling that shit real quick, and $1 million a year is obviously still a good fucking income. So, but then he was like, they're giving it away. So we have a super privileged fucking dude that just makes videos, and I make fucking videos, and mine are educational, not just like extreme challenge bullshit. But Jimmy Donaldson, he likes something educational. So you're stealing from me. Because anything that's educational out there is not citing me, for real. But yeah, we have a dude with 111 million subscribers, hanging out with his friends on the internet friends, giving them a $2.5 million jet, and they're gonna sell that, give it to one of their friends to sell for money. So it's just privileged people giving privilege to privileged people. I can't eat dinner when I want to. But I think how much do, yeah, that was the pharmacy. I just needed to figure out how much out-of-pocket cost another shot was, because Mr. Beast is giving away, I'm literally receiving a phone call about out-of-pocket costs for a vaccine. I think it's the tetanus one. While people are literally giving $2.5 million jets to people. And when I asked my father why he can't call Peter Patton, who's the shooting coach for Mark Cuban, who I've been in direct contact with for 7 fucking years, who's worth $5 billion, why can't somebody pay me some money so I get access to healthcare? So I don't get harassed at my home by cops. That is what I want to stop. If I'm over here trying to go from a $5 million house to a $50 million house. Absolutely want every penny that I fucking earned, but I want to stop getting tortured every minute of every fucking day. And the people I've been talking to in 5 to 10 years, this shit has not stopped happening every 2 weeks. It hasn't. But how much do YouTubers make? Do YouTubers make per click? Yeah, I think it was like 1 million views. It was like, it says between a penny and 3 pennies for an ad view, a YouTuber can make around $18 per 1,000 ad views. So like $18,000 for 1 million views. So it's like that doesn't add up to a $2.5 million jet to me. But again, merch drops, sponsorships, that stuff. I just don't know. That's just on the YouTube ads, so I don't know about like partnership deals and stuff. Because again, am I ever allowed to integrate into society? Absolutely fucking not. Literally, again, you just can't make this shit up. Literally getting a call that I inquired about what is an out-of-pocket cost for a vaccine that for my health. Well, people are giving away jets and everyone's fraudulently stealing from me. And I'm over here worried about, is this vaccine going to cost $50 or $100? And if it's under anything under $100, I don't give a fuck at all. But it's still a thought. It's still a fucking thought. And then every time I talk to my parents, don't spend money. The reason I can't spend my money is because of criminal activity. If we're not going to make a simple phone call to Peter Patton, again, I would contact Peter Patton, but I am blacklisted. I do contact all of these fucking people. Contacted Nate Lewis last week and said, well, I have no idea what you're fucking talking about. Bullshit. You're a coward, you're a pussy, you're a liar, you're a thief, and your father's in a direct legal obligation to do something, and he doesn't. And I can't eat dinner, and I'm worried about my health care, for real. Sales, go Stallions. Pretty devastating plane collision just happened at a Texas air show in Dallas. You got a big plane flying, big air show, a bunch of planes around, a little plane turns left, instantly just decimates. The bigger plane goes down, and then a huge fireball. So it doesn't look like too many, don't really need to wait for alleged survivors on that. But it was a B-17 Flying Fortress versus a P-63 King Cobra. Don't know too much about Johnny Appleseed from HQ Flats. I don't work on aircraft like you do, buddy. I don't know about I guess the B-17 Flying Fortress wasn't quite the fortress that was made out to be. The King Cobra definitely bit. So, pretty accurate name for the King Cobra, not so accurate name for the Flying Fortress. Too soon? Never. Democrats maintain control of the Senate. Whoop-de-fucking-do. Thank you, Senator Majority Leader Schumer, for legalizing cannabis. Which, again, is the #1 most practical step to do to limit all-cause mortality in the world. As the biologist offering $10 million to give a lecture and prove in live stream contacting alien life. So, who would listen to me? Nobody. Fucking nobody. I don't give a fucking shit. I just want out of here. So again, in a good mood, but Jesus fucking Christ. My life is absolutely nothing. It's absolutely fucking terrible. My name is Bradley Bowes. I'm being profoundly and extensively tortured. There is nothing I can do. There is nowhere I can go. There is no one I can call. I'm going to be tortured until the day that I die, because other people cannot change their behavior. Anyway, thanks for watching. Language, Litigation, Integration, Part 158. Casual Conversation 76. See you on the next one.